Here we go, take two. I'll start this again, just the same as I did last time, because I will be saving this live, this special joint live today, and uploading it to other channels. So my name is Eva. I'm the director of the Scottish Yarn Festival, the Scottish Roll Producers Showcase, and also producer of our Scottish Provenance Yarn brand. Today I should be going live, because we're going to try it again, with Alex Juliet. So let's see. Alex, do you want to send me an invite and we'll do it that way, because this is our second attempt. We just had a few little technical hitches there. I believe some settings have been changed in the background, and we'll see if we can make it happen this time. It's promising. Let's see. I'm accepting your invite, Alex, but it's, I don't know. Bear with us, people. Gotta love technology. I've spent all morning dealing with TSB's online banking being down. It seems to be the day for it. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're still having a few difficulties, people. Sorry about this. Okay, I'm getting a message saying that you're unable to join, Alex. Shall we try again? Thanks for your patience, everyone. It's just the way of it. Hoping that the lighting stays okay as well, because I don't want to put the big light on and just kind of flash everything out here. Let's give it a shot. If not, possibly see about maybe going live from your side. Let's see. See if I can possibly do it another way. There we go. I tried. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I always seem to have issues every time I try and do a joint Instagram live, either with it's saying that I'm sending invites, it's saying I'm accepting them, and I was just trying rather from the bottom and adding people. Thought, I wonder if there's maybe something along the top here, if there's maybe options there. So I don't know, but we've managed it this time.
I feel vindicated. I always tell people I'm really bad with technology, and they're like, oh, it'll be fine every time without fail. It's something.
I think, is there not something going, I don't know if Mercury's retrograde at the minute, but there's definitely something going retrograde, and TSB online banking was down all morning because I was trying to make payments. My final payment for the festival today, there was a bit of a hiccup with someone, and they had to sort some things out in the background, and finally credit notes and things came through. It's like, I will clear that today. Logged on the back of 9 o'clock and TSB just went down. It wasn't till 2:30 in the afternoon it was back up. It's like, really? I think we forget just how much we rely on technology these days.
Oh yeah. And my brain just doesn't work that way. There are some things that I can somehow figure out. Technology, not one of them. I wish I could, because it's so necessary. But I'm glad that I have lots of able people around me that can help me navigate life.
Well, it kind of fits in quite well as to the reason that we're doing a live today. So just before we join on to that, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Alex, and I'm I'm trying to say now I'm a textile artist from Scotland instead of my boring job, which is I'm a horticulturist by trade. But I kind of got into crafting and started a podcast during lockdown, and my life has just completely changed since then. Like, crafting is such a huge part, and I have a background in art. And after I dropped out of art school years ago, I just never touched art ever again until I picked up crafting, and all of a sudden it was like this new way to, devote myself to art again. And it was different enough that none of all the baggage came with me, which was great. But yeah, so now I'm like a spinning teacher, and yeah, I just share my craft and people seem to enjoy it. So that's who I am.
I wouldn't have said that your horticultural job was boring at all, because you shared snippets of it in your podcast. And I was talking about your podcast today earlier to a friend, and I went, it's not even like a podcast. I said, so Alex doesn't podcast that often. So we maybe get one every 6 months at the minute, just due to life circumstances. But they're like not even miniature documentaries, but they're like short films.
I do
The
make live
production
myself.
is it's outstanding. I mean, they're absolute labours of love. And I think you just, your personality just absolutely kind of shines through it, and I'm blown away by the artwork that you shared, and the wild camping snippets, and just you take slow living and really live by that.
Yeah, I mean, I try my best. It can be so hard to live a bit slower when everything's going so fast. But I think what I love is every day it seems that I'm finding a new way to live even slower. And, that's how it started. So I, picked up knitting and didn't realize I was craving to go back even further. And then, I find out about spinning. And then it was actually at the Scottish Wool Producers Showcase that I met Sue, and she had little bags of raw fleece, and I was like, oh, I've never considered going back even further and processing the fleece. And then Sue invited me to see her sheep, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's this whole world of farming and the care for the sheep that I've never even considered. And then it just kept going back and back and back, and now it's just a joke among my friends and family that I just do everything so slow, including responding to messages and everything. It encompasses my whole life.
There's nothing wrong with it at all. So when we're talking about Sue, we're talking about Hawkshaw sheep.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
And
Yeah,
she's had a lot of changes been going on in her life as
absolutely.
well
Yeah.
now. So I don't know if she's made that public. So it's probably best not to, because I have, do you know, elephant in the room, I have seen quite a few rumours circulating about people's businesses, that other people are talking about them on Instagram at the minute. And I think until somebody is potentially ready to make a statement, if that statement is appropriate,
Mm.
it doesn't particularly sit very comfortable with me. So Sue's absolutely fine, by the way, everyone. Just prefacing with that Sue is doing really well, but she has had changed circumstances, and that's why we haven't had her at the last. I think we had her at the last showcase. I forget, because I've had three now, so I may not have done. And she wasn't at the festival last year, but that's just to do with changes in circumstances, and nothing particularly badly. But you covered all that on your podcast. So do you want to, shall we just say the name of the podcast here? So, because you need to, after this live, you need to go back, you need to go and subscribe to this channel. It's the perfect kind of autumn/fall viewing, just to kind of cozy up and ease in, I think.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's yeah, you're not gonna see lots of podcasts, but there's some, and yeah, it is a seasonal thing for me. So I do my gardening job all summer, and then this time of year I start getting really, really crazy about wool. It never really goes away,
Mm.
but it reaches a whole new level. So yeah, it's exciting.
Is it ancestral? I want to say it's Ancestral Craeft.
Yes.
Is that how you pronounce it, as opposed to Ancestral Craft?
Oh no,
So it's kind of Ancestral Craeft, but it's kind of spelt craft with an E in it as well.
that's the one.
Yeah. But I will tag you, because when we've wrapped up this live, I will invite you to be a contributor. So it should populate up on your page as well. And we'll put in various links so you can go and find that on, not on Instagram, on YouTube, because it's an absolute delight. And I will admit to have watched some of your episodes more than the ones when they come out. It's lovely to go back and revisit.
Thank you very
But your
much.
podcast is not the reason for inviting you on in your sort of reinvigorated guise as a textile artist.
Mm.
It's to kind of help share my platform, because there are so many different ways of lifting people up. So would you like to talk about what your latest project is, what it is you're doing?
Yes, so I have just launched my winter wool spinning immersion course. So this was kind of prompted by me looking for, spinning classes and courses in Scotland and realizing that there's not many that are very accessible. There are a lot of ones in retreat formats, which I've done before in the past, in the summer when it's nice and sunny, hopefully. It's always a gamble. But having a retreat where people can come for a weekend and learn all the skills to take fleece to a finished yarn. And that works really well, and it's been great in the past. But what I really wanted was to create a course where there was space and there was time for people to learn and to have somebody to go to as they're struggling along in the beginning to help teach them and to troubleshoot as you go, as the weeks go by. So this is a course that starts on the 27th of October, and then there's a 2-week break, and then people come back on the 10th of November, and then the next one is the 1st of December, and it's all around you get a fleece on that very first session and you get to transform it into yarn, and by the 1st of December you will have something that you can take away with you, in theory.
I love how you're breaking it up like that, and I've been following your stories. So you're at the point of you're actually sourcing fleece. So I mean, you're really going in depth, like so with these immersion courses. So it looks like there's been quite an uptake in places. All of a sudden, there's been a rush to it. You're securing the fleece, but I think did I notice Bridget, adorable Bridget?
Bramble,
Was
yes,
it
Bramble.
Bramble?
Yeah, it's been so fun. I mean, I did have to tell my partner, just so you're aware, there's going to be about 5 fleeces coming in the next 2 days, but don't worry, they're not for me.
So
So
Bramble is a sheep.
yeah, Bramble is a
What have you
sheep.
meant for that? Bramble is a sheep. So some of the fleece that you've managed to secure, it's not even just that provenance to a farm, it's to an individual beast.
Yes, absolutely. And that's what I love about it. And I think it's so much easier, I've found, for the people to learn when you see the raw material and all of a sudden understanding drafting and how far you have to place your hands dependent on, the staple length of the fleece. It just makes a lot more sense when you're looking at it that way.
Mhm.
So I'm really excited to, allow the time to actually go through that learning process, because it takes a while. There's so much to learn, and it's hard to cram something so slow into, just a couple of days of learning when you haven't had a chance to teach your hands the motions yet, and you don't know what you're going to struggle with when you go away and start doing it in your life. So that's the benefit of having this structure, I think.
Yeah, having those 2 weeks in between
Yeah.
each sort of like meeting, if you like, to then go away and to practice, because those skills come over time.
Mm.
I've done a bit of spinning in my time, and I struggle with the spinning wheel. And I do keep returning to knitting, going that's my first love. I'm fine. I don't get as much time for crafting as I would, because a lot of people, I think, they look at the sort of the jobs and things that I do and go, oh, you must get so much knitting done. It's like, no, I do knit fast when I'm knitting, but I don't have a huge amount of time. So to keep going back, but I do try and participate in Tour de Fleece where I
Mm.
can every so often. I'll bring out one of my drop spindles and I'll do something, and that's enough of a taste
Yeah.
for me. So just to break it down, because it's 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 immersive, it is going to be intensive, but it's being done in
Yeah.
bite-sized parts. So 3 sessions.
Mm-hmm.
What are you covering in the first one? What sort of things would people watching this that might be interested? What sort of things would they expect to be covered within that first?
So the first session is all going to be about preparing your fleece. You'll come into the room and you'll just see them all on the floor, and I'll teach you all about skirting them, whether you want to braid them, where the softest wool is, all of that. And scouring will be demonstrated, and I'll have a clean fleece there so that we can start carding and looking at preparing the fleece from a washed state, and then you'll get to skirt your fleece in that session and take it home to start washing yourself. So that will be the first session. Quite a lot to get done in there, but
Mhm.
it will be great.
It's so important because I I'm increasingly seeing within spinning pages, and you always see a glut over the summer of suddenly farmers or smallholders or someone knows someone who knows someone who's got fleece, and they're desperate to get rid of this
Yeah.
fleece because the wool board does not pay.
Mm-hmm.
Pays about a third of what it actually costs to shear you beast at the moment, but not everybody is raising their sheep for wool production.
Yeah.
So a fleece is not a fleece, is not a fleece, even when it's the same breed. Like, apparently, you can ferment a fleece instead of washing it.
You can, the suet method. Yeah, you can do that.
That
Fancy
what the same method is, right? Okay.
that.
So I think it's really important having that opportunity to look at the fleece, look at the different parts of it. I mean, I've got a collar up here from Shearing Crafts. It's supposed to be a cat bed, but I've just put it as a backdrop at the moment, which is a Gotland with the huge curls. But you know, a fleece is not fleece, it's not a fleece. Um, Depending on whether they've been bred for wool or probably in the case that you're getting them, it's been meat production. So you've got to kind of grade it to get a decent fleece, rather than I'm seeing a lot of people going on to the likes of eBay or seeing fleece are being offered and buying, and then when what they get is not suitable. Now there are other uses for that. Obviously, you can use that within gardening. You can compost with it. There are other uses. You know, it doesn't need to just go straight in the bin. But the storage of a fleece before you're using it, because you can't just chuck it in a black bin bag in a shed and forget about it for years. You know, you've got to look after that fleece even in its raw state and do that exploration and understand that you've got a fleece that is suitable for taking all that time to prepare to spin.
Yeah, I mean, the knowledge of just being able to look at a fleece and go, yeah, I can spin from this, it's lost in a way, and
Mhm.
it's just kept in these little niche pockets where you can sometimes find really gold information on what am I looking for here, how do I know. And I think being able to see that, and I'm going to be bringing in examples of what you're looking for because you don't want to get it, you know.
Yeah.
So if it's really felted on the back, or if it's got, you know, a lot of scurf, like sheep dandruff at the base, all of these things, so that after this course you can go away and you know what you're looking for, and you can just purchase fleece that, you know, does what it you want it to.
And I think it's a really important job that you're doing as well, because I think a lot of people as well think about getting into spinning and it's, oh, go to your local guild, whatever. And it's like, yeah, that's great, to a point, but the people that meet once a month in a guild, they're there. They don't mind helping, I would say, but generally they're there for them to meet
Mm-hmm.
together, for them to be learning skills, because they're bringing in teachers for themselves within guilds of spinners, weavers, and dyers. That's what I'm talking about here. And the same with sort of a lot of knitting groups. I've been in various knitting groups over time that have met in cafes and libraries and things. And I think the assumption is, oh, we'll just go along to that. And I've had it as well. I'll go along to this, and I'm a complete newbie, and I want you to teach me. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind helping you,
Yeah.
but this is my time for me to go out and socialise, and I'm paying for the teas and the coffees and cake and things while I'm here. That's my time for me to socialise with everyone. That's not my time to be teaching you
Mm-hmm.
from scratch. So I think you've kind of take it to a business point. You've kind of found a wee gap in the market here. You've found that there's something that's lacking here at this time that there is an interest in, and I think it's really important as well for the whole sort of environmental side of it as well. So to have someone like yourself, this is not your first time teaching because you've done retreats, you're incredibly knowledgeable, you have spent time on farms, you know what you're doing, to kind of go and have these immersion courses with you, I think is just so important and very worthwhile someone's time and money.
Yeah, I mean, I really honor kind of people who trust me to teach, because,
Mhm.
you know, people are paying me to give them knowledge, and I really understand that. So I really try my best to make an experience, and not just a place where you're going to get information, but a place where you're going to make friendships and you're going to have this group that's going to be with you the whole winter. So even if you maybe aren't that interested in spinning from fleece, but you really struggle with the winter and how dark it is, and you don't have the social connections, it's a really good place to just come along and learn a new skill and just see what it's about, but have that friendship, because there will be, meetups between the sessions for people who want to gather and spin some of their singles together, or, I really try to make it a whole encompassing event where you can get a little bit of everything. And yeah, it's just really exciting to be able to distill all the YouTube videos and the antique books and all of the places where I had to source that information, and little tidbits from, people in guilds that have given me little nuggets to kind of add to my practice. Or Sue for teaching me how to skirt fleeces, like all of these people, all of these resources, I think it's coming to a place of, okay, I do have the knowledge and I do have something to share with people. And people seem to really love working with fleece, and I'm really excited to be able to offer that.
So just to dial back, because we kind of went off on a slight tangent there. So that first introductory session, you're providing the fleece.
Yeah.
The fleece is covered within the cost. They're ready to go. You'll be going over braiding a fleece, how to skirt it. You will have a scour fleece there ready to start carding. Is that everything within the first week, first session? Is there anything more that you're covering within that first?
I will give people their spindles in the first session and invite people to start playing, but the second session will be the spinning session, just about how you spin your singles, how do you sample, how do you intentionally spin. I see a lot of new spinners just getting stuck on just being able to spin one thing because they just can't make their hands do what they want in their head. So just about figuring out, okay, if you see this new pattern and it's got this beautiful fingering weight yarn, how do you know if you can transform that fleece into that? And all of that knowledge that just comes with that, we'll learn all about that, and we'll start spinning, and I'll go around and make sure that everybody's getting the hang of it. And then there will be a larger gap, so I think it's about 3 weeks until the third session, to allow people to have the time to spin up enough singles so that when we get to the third session, we can learn all about plying, all about finishing your yarns, all about calculating from that how you know if you've got enough in that fleece to make that jumper or whatever. And yeah, a little bit of an improver's course at that third session as well. So by the end, you will have a skein that is just from that one fleece that you started with, in October. And over Christmas, you can knit that thing that you really wanted to make and have something to treasure forever. So that's the goal.
That's great. And I think extending that gap to sort of 3 weeks as well is really important. Certainly when I was learning to spin, and when I've spoken to other people, the recommendation generally is between 10 and 15 minutes every single day if you can, just to get that muscle memory going, because it's amazing when you just start that small repetitive practice, just how quickly it comes under your hands as well.
I always hear that people say it feels like my hands know what to do when I just let my brain switch off and I just let my hands remember. That's when it clicks for a lot of people. And our hands have been doing this for thousands of years. It makes complete sense that there is a knowing within us of, yeah, I kind of understand the principle of this. I've just got to let my hands do it. And I found that all the knowledge really is in the fingertips. Looking for how thick it is part of it, but when you start to do it enough, your fingertips can feel like, oh, I'm getting a bit thick there, oh, I'm getting a bit thin. It's all just about giving yourself time to remember how to do it. But everybody can do it, absolutely.
I mean, spinning was a cottage industry to a point, or even before that, it was a necessity.
Yeah.
That if you wanted those, home cloth clothes, the only way that you were going to get new socks or to weave cloth to clothe yourself and your family was if you actually spun the wool yourself, the homespun. And everyone was doing it. The children were doing it, families were doing it. I mean, it wasn't even these beautiful drop spindles that you get now, you know, just a twig, a stick, stone. There were so many ways of just utilising what you had to hand to create that. So to have that connection to that past now, I mean, it's great that we can do it as a luxury, but it was very much a necessity.
Yeah, and that's, you know, what I love about it, and that's what you will learn on this course is I've never appreciated yarn as much as I have knowing how it's done, you know, and how it was done and how much time it took people to have a meter of cloth, like how much work that is. We take fabric, we take, you know, materials for granted a lot of the time, but it's so much work and it's such a necessity. And being a gardener, I think that's how it comes full circle, is I'm out in the elements all year round, and I want to understand, you know, I didn't understand until I started spinning that a woolen and a worsted yarn would make any difference whatsoever, you know, for what I needed to wear in the winter. But it's just about understanding it, because you'll be seeing it in front of you and seeing the difference that makes from one fleece, how you can get vastly different results.
And your own handmade wardrobe is just stunning. And again, this is covered within your previous podcasts, because you do include, you know, images and footage of you spinning and then actually working with the yarn, and then in some cases actual finished garments, and they're just beautiful.
Thank you. I mean, that is because I work so slow. I have to be very methodical and intentional about what I make, because I know that I can't make everything. So I have to really think about it. And sometimes I get stuck on the thinking about it and never actually make it, but progress.
But once you've got those garments, I mean, when you put that time and that love and that intention into them, I mean, your pieces are like heirloom pieces. I mean, if you look after a woolen garment and learn to repair them, they will last you beyond your lifetime.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, that's the joy of it, isn't it? I think that's why we all love making our own clothes, because we get a bit of autonomy back about, you know, actually, I can make this fit my body exactly, you know. The world is just at your fingertips, you know. You can make the exact garment that you need for your life, and everybody's needs are different. So I love that, you know, I can make my pockets a little bit bigger because I know I carry, you know, copious amounts of stones when I go to the beach. Or, you know, I love that I can make my jumpers, you know, a bit shorter so that they're not getting muddy and wet, you know, from my waterproof coat. Like, these are all little things, like a centimeter worth of fabric can make a garment useful or just an absolute hit. Love. It's great.
So give us some more details for people who are watching or catching up with this later. Where can people find more information? What sort of pricing coming in at? Where's the location? Where are these classes being held?
So you can find all the information and full event details on my website, which is available in my bio on Instagram. But it's also just ancestralcraft.co.uk, and then go to the events page. I'm holding it in Leith in Edinburgh, literally a couple of streets away from me, so lugging everything about is going to be really easy. At Santosa Cafe, which is a lovely cafe and wellness space on Albert Street, and it has a lovely little studio spot, which will be really nice and spacious for all the fleece. And the price point is a sliding scale. It starts out at 220 for all 3 sessions, all your materials, and then it goes up to 250 to 80, and you don't have to say what one you pick, and you don't have to justify why you pick either. Just pick whatever one feels applicable. And yeah, that's just to make it more accessible for people as well. And if you want to do a payment plan, just get in touch and spread it out.
Okay, so that's Ancestral Craft. Is that with the E or without the E?
With the E.
With the E.
Yeah. Yes.
So I'm just trying to think, just to kind of spell it out here for people who are maybe just kind of listening to. So it's Ancestral Craft with an E. Is it A E
Yeah.
F T? Yeah. C R A C R A E F T. Ancestral Craft.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I will put links just as we wrap this sort of up. If anyone's got any questions that are maybe watching live, I think we just got a handful of people live at the minute who've kind of come in and probably thinking, what on earth is going on with these two people talking about working with their hands and such. But you are available, you know, through your Instagram, through your website to answer any questions. And the course begins, is it 27th of August? I'm sorry, 27th of October, you said.
That's the one, yeah.
The weeks are running away with me at the minute. I have no idea. Or it is. I can't believe we're like in the final quarter of 2024.
In denial, that's for sure.
Are you? I'm just looking forward to kind of getting cozy. The hand knits are on already, and just just slowing down into the winter and taking the time. But Alex, thank you for coming on and sharing what you're up to with us. You're a really important part of what's going on within the sort of, I wouldn't say so much sort of the textile industry, although you are kind of part of it, but with what's happening in terms of textiles within Scotland. And it's lovely to see somebody going out there and kind of bridging a gap with those sort of skill sets that you've got, that you've honed. And I can't think of a better person to be leading these classes. So I wish you all the best with it.
Honestly, I'm so grateful. Everything you've done, just really honor the support that you've given me, and sharing this opportunity with your network is, it's big. So thank you so much.
Oh no, it's my pleasure. So please do go and follow Alex. So you're not Ancestral Craeft on Instagram. You are
Just
Alex.Juliet.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
But that's fine for anyone sort of rushing off to do that now. But I will add you as a collaborator to this live, so it should be a little bit easier to kind of find you on the internet. But we'll wrap it up for just now. Thank you for your time. I wouldn't say jealous. I don't like the word jealous, but I think everyone who's going to go and be on these workshops is just going to have an amazing time. And I wish that I was able to go and join you all. Maybe I'll join you for one a wee bit further down the line. But I look forward to seeing how this goes and how you develop your journey as a textile artist and tutor. And yeah, it's going to be fabulous.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Fingers crossed.
It does. We need to cross fingers on it. I think I can feel it in my gut. It's really going to work. So thank you everybody who's joined at some point in the live. We're going to wrap this up now, and I will share it to the rest of our socials so you can find it. And if any of you are planning on going on this course, please let us know.
Amazing.
Okay, bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Everyone. Bye-bye.